Hello, I'm Denise, and I have your readings all ready, but I wanted to give you a heads up and let you know that you may want to check out the other readings that would cover your moon and your ascendant, as well as your sun. That way you have a bigger perspective over the opportunities coming your way for the month. Okay, let's get started. All right, this first week I'm going to cover from March 29th through April 4th. And again, this is Aries, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Don't forget to watch the other videos that cover, your Ascendant and your Moon. Okay, with that said, let's go ahead. This is the Anna K Tarot, and let's see if I can get this into frame here. There you go. Yeah, okay. And what we have, the way I've drawn the cards, the intention I've used is to show us the opportunities for spiritual growth and healing, the opportunities that will be coming this week for us Aries, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant. And I've intended for the first two cards to cover the beginning of the week, the third card to be the middle of the week, but also the theme, and then the last two cards, of course, would be the end of the week. So with that said, let's go ahead, and what draws my attention, of course, is the theme card, the Four of Swords in the middle here, right here. And even though it's showing, two people, one of them is recovering and isn't feeling well, and the other one is taking care. I also see this as a meditation card. Whenever I draw this card for myself, it's a good day for meditating and resting and recuperating. So I'm going to put that overlay on the theme of the entire week, and especially because we're coming from the Six of Swords starting out the week. So for some of us, some of you, this would be traveling, maybe finally making it home if you were traveling and you were stuck and couldn't get home. It's definitely moving towards the unknown, but if you notice here, the water's really calm, moving ahead, and back here it's choppy. So we've moved away from something that was stressful. And when there's water involved, it's always, emotional undercurrents as well. The feelings were a little choppy. The challenges were to make it home or to make it to a more peaceful place. For some of you, it will not be about, coming home from traveling. It will be getting everything you needed to maybe stay home with the kids, especially with what's going on globally. Many of us are having to stay home with the kids. The kids are out of school for maybe even a month, but for at the least a couple of weeks. So we're getting things together to make for a smoother sailing as we move ahead. And we may be carrying our troubles from the past with us for a little bit, but even though it's the unknown, we hold on to our faith and we, hope for the best and just move forward. And then also in the beginning of the week, we have the Seven of Swords. Now this, when I draw this card for myself, it tells me to trust my instincts and to listen to my intuition, because there may be something that somebody's trying to get away with. Or it could be that there's an aspect of yourself that you don't really know and you're discovering something new. In this deck it's drawn out as, a thief in the night, but that's not always what the card means at all. Many times it's that you've rushed to get something done or get to some place or to have everything, that you thought you needed, but you left a couple of things behind. The two swords here indicate the possibility that we left a couple of things behind, or that we were only able to take two swords and maybe we dropped the other five. We just couldn't do it all. So there's that possibility that that's, the beginning of the week for you. But like I said, the theme is to recuperate and to take really good care of yourself and your family, your loved ones, to think long term about what will be the best. And then moving towards the rest of the week, it looks like it's clear sailing, like everybody's together. With the Four of Rods, it could even be celebrating, having a party outside in a park, a picnic, any kind of a get-together with people that you love and care about. And it's a very fun time to accomplish something together. It could be a coming together for, let's say, to help out some other people, or, it's generally the card of parties and events of any kind, any and all kinds, weddings, all types of things. But of course, for a little bit, what we're going through globally, wouldn't indicate a large event, but it normally could. But for the most part, it's definitely stable. You're with people you love and care about, and it's fun. The rods, the wands are always about passion and getting together and expressing ourselves and having fun. Unless you get to the Ten of Wands, that's a little different. That's a little bit more of a burden, the 9 and the 10s. So then we move to the last, very end of the week, and we have the Ace of Swords. So that's all about new ideas, putting new ideas out there, receiving new ideas, maybe some downloading of some information that came through while you were resting up, in the middle of the week, or resting up over the whole week, actually. But now that you've moved to a better place, ideas are coming in about the future and what it is that you want to create, or how you want to take care of the creations you already have, or the loved ones that you already have. So the Ace of Swords is full of the aha moments, and putting things into the right order on a mental level so that you can move ahead in a better way than you had in the past. And so the weekend might be a really good time to keep a notepad near you, or take notes, put them in your phone. You may get a lot of ideas that are hard to keep track of if you don't write them down or record them somehow, right away. So, okay, I think that's it for this week. I'll be right back with the second week. All right, this spread will cover April 5th through the 11th. And I love the preponderance of pentacles here, because it shows, look at that. There are four pentacle cards, and I shuffled thoroughly. That's one of the things that I do. Oh, and by the way, this is the Lightseers Tarot by Chris Ann. Okay. And I will be doing the rest of the month with these decks. I have several. So this week is primarily about, now the pentacles always, cover the material realm that we're in. So it's all about taking care of our bodies. It has everything to do with just the earthly realm, and what we're trying to manifest, what we're loving, what's not working, and what is working. And we make adjustments as we go. It rules all the earth signs, of course, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And so what I'm seeing for the beginning of the week, well, with the overall theme of planting new seeds, new seeds for manifesting what it is that you truly want, the beginning of the week is a lead up to teamwork. It can definitely be with the Three of Pentacles here. It can be teamwork. It can be, it's not something that's complete yet, because we haven't gotten to the 4. We haven't made our way to the 4 yet. But with the 3, it's an initial completion. We're well on our way. And it looks like, for the most part, for most people, it's something that's a lot of fun, and definitely something that you want to work hard on. Now, the next card comes in with the Five of Pentacles. Now, notice that there is let me see if I can do this without blocking the images. There's the key and the lock right here. So she can get up and put the key in the lock and open that door. So it has to do, this card primarily has to do with deprivation consciousness and moving through that. You know, like getting to the place where you realize, I can't create abundance from a place of lack. The spiritual, growth here, the spiritual law that's involved is the law of affinity. And, some people call it the law of attraction, but it's whatever we are, we will attract. Whatever attitude we're holding on to, whatever false beliefs we are carrying with us that we haven't yet healed, we will manifest those in our lives in order to become aware of the fact that we do create our own reality. Maybe not every single little, we have no control over anyone else, but we do have control over what we create, and our unconscious fears and false beliefs are what controls us. And so it really, really, always behooves us to work on digging those things out, looking for your inner light. She's hunched over. She's looking for her own inner light, and she will find it. She will definitely find it. And the Six of Pentacles after that is a very beautiful card of giving and receiving. So, but for this day, for, the beginning of the week, you're working hard. There's lots of hard work, but there's teamwork, and you're not alone, even though she thinks she's alone. Normally, with the traditional Rider-Waite images, with this card, there are two people involved, and one person is hurt and the other one is helping the other, together. So I want to hold to that meaning, that original meaning, and pretend there's two people here and they're comforting each other. Okay. But the lock and the key are what's important, and you hold the keys to your own abundance. It's just a shift in an attitude, and then developing the faith and working towards the truth that you can create whatever you want. You just plant the seeds. Create whatever you want within reason. I mean, of course, we can't make pigs fly, but it might be fun to imagine that and make a kid's book or cartoon or, all kinds of things you can do creatively. But this is definitely about manifesting things in the material world in your life that will further you in the future. And look towards the end of the week. These are the best cards in the deck, I believe. The Ten of Pentacles, of course, it's everything that it shows here on the card, where we have family, and this doesn't have to be your blood family. This can be, your people that you feel are your spiritual family, your extended family, people of like mind. But it very often does relate to the happy family of the grandparents and the kids. So that's a wonderful energy to have, a wonderful experience to have for the end of the week and riding out through the weekend. And the weekend moves into happiness. The Sun card is the highest energy card in the deck, and it's all about sharing your light, receiving warmth and love. I think, of course, by this time we'll be into, the first day of... When is the first day of spring? Oh, it's sooner. So we're definitely into spring by now, by the 11th here. And it's just a wonderful time to be outside and, have some fun, share your love, share your light, and be happy. It's the card, it's the primo card of happiness. Okay. All right, I'll be right back with the third week. So this is April 12th through the 18th, and it is the same deck, the Lightseer's Tarot. Okay, and we're starting off the week with the Knight of Wands, which is all about going for it. Really, it's the go for it card. Notice, she's beating her own drum. There's a powerful horse in the background to carry her wherever she wants to go. Or maybe she's helping the horses dance, It's definitely a very self-expressive, creative card. And I love how it comes before the Nine of Swords, because I think I think the message here is that we're moving away from the nightmare type of situation that we've been going through. The worry, this card, the Nine of Swords, is primarily about worry. So the message here, I believe, is to be passionate about what you love and go for what you love. Of course, take your time and don't rush into things, but to let go of some worries. Focus on the love in your heart that you want to give and the people that you want to be with, and just, opening to more and more love, I believe, is the message for the week, with this being a central card. Now, moving towards the end of the week, there will be something that there may be for some of you, of course, Aries Moon Ascendant again is where we are. So it's one of the other either or type of thing. I happen to have Aries Moon and Ascendant, but Moon's in the 12th, so it's a little weird. But anyway, with the Eight of Cups here towards the end of the week, we are walking away from something that no longer works. And we don't want to. It's not one of those things that we want to give up, but we have to, because it's just not working anymore. There's been too much regret. We've been trying to move towards what we want, and there's been a lot of worry and maybe even some regret, maybe even some headaches, some insomnia, for some even a nightmare here and there, an opportunity to face your fears that come up in dream time. And you can literally do that in dream time if you can catch yourself. You can either put yourself face to face with the fear and work through it in dream time, if you can consciously do that. Not everybody can, but it's super important to work towards. And the opposite of fear is love. So opening your heart to love will help clear out this past. There's the energy of moving forward. And, and this can be kind of fiery energy, because when we put fire and air together, it kind of blows it up, So it may be that we have some blown up fears that we're learning to just breathe and let go. Get into your heart, breathe into your center. Clearing it out through the breath is always the way to go. And then walking away from the worry, right? Because the worry is just going to get you more worry. Now, that doesn't mean to be foolish, but I don't have the Fool card here. I don't have other cards that indicate we're doing anything foolish or opportunities for, dealing with that, or I don't see that here. I see it more as giving up the fears and walking away from them and then surrendering. Notice here with the Hanged Man, she has, the golden divine light inside of her, emanating out of her head, and she's dropping down looking. I love how with this artwork she's on silks. Like aerial fitness is a cool thing nowadays. She's reaching down into the wisdom of the universe, and she's trusting. She's trusting by diving into her own inner core, her own inner light. He, she, whoever. If you dive into your inner light and you go from that place. Now, sometimes it puts us in limbo, right? Because she's hanging. She's in limbo. But you'll work your way through it. And it's always an inside job to get what you want in life. It's always working with your inner will, which is very different from your outer will. And to find your inner will, you have to surrender your outer will and keep coming inside and working with, okay, what's in the way? Whenever we're trying to manifest something, we always want to work on the blocks, the obstacles in our belief system that keep things away from us. And that's the work to get what you want. It's not just so much about focusing on the thing, it's about removing the obstacles that prevent the things from coming in. So it's, I believe, with the preponderance here of cups, and the Hanged Man is also a very watery card because it's ruled by Neptune. And what we have is the passion, letting go of the fears, but then trusting your feelings to guide you. I mean, in this situation, notice how she's walking towards the light. She's leaving behind all the emotional energy that she's put into something that just doesn't work anymore. It doesn't make it, bad or wrong at all. It just means that for some reason or another, it doesn't behoove us to stay there. We just can't. So surrendering to that state and then opening to the newness that wants to come in, the light that's inside that wants to be released out into the universe. That's the direction to go. Okay, all right, let's get to the next week. Hold on. All right, this spread here will cover April 19th to the 25th. And the theme for the week is happiness and joy and shining your light and receiving others' light and playing, having fun outside, being in the joy of nature, the joy of being with each other in nature. And so that's going to play over the throughout the whole week, but in the beginning of the week, it's more about enjoying everything that you have. The King of Pentacles, notice here, he's with his dog. He has more than he needs. He is very full and very wealthy on all levels. And he's either worked hard to get there, which may not always be a lot of hard physical work, but often it is. It's, it's working smart. It's organizing in a smart way. These are the organizational geniuses of the world. They know how to structure things to last. It's all about sustainability. It's very connected to nature. It's very connected to creating more abundance, thinking long term. And I love that the King of Cups is right next to it because that shows me that it's a balanced energy between focusing on your feelings and focusing on your, emotional intelligence. The King of Cups is very intelligent that way, does not run, now it doesn't have to be a man, neither of the kings or any the queens, they never have to be men, they're just an aspect of, the queens are a little more nurturing and receptive, doesn't make them any, less than in any way. And the kings are usually about more structure and order and organization. So the King of Cups is sometimes doctors, sometimes any healthcare professional, therapists, counselors, life coaches, any type of people that help others come into their own, come into who they really are, help them work through, trauma. So this may be part of the week is either sharing with your friends and your loved ones, your feelings more deeply, or understanding. At the very most, this card is about understanding. Or on the deeper levels, I would say it is about understanding how important it is to have clear emotions. Notice that the fish are swimming in clear water here, and always having a touch into your heart. Always having, notice the lights coming out of his heart here. And of course, this rules all the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. But we all have the water, spiritual fluids, water inside of us. And, to always keep a touch into the feeling levels is the important piece, I believe, with this card. And it comes from a place of having done so much emotional clearing work, emotional, I hate to use the word purification, but I don't really know of another Here we go. Emotional maturity. We're dealing with emotional maturity here because the emotional reactive aspects have been cleared out. We've gone through them. We've felt them. We've met the pain. We've processed the pain. And we're in a place where our feelings can now flow freely and spontaneous real love can pour out from within and we can move into happiness. So this is a wonderful, wonderful week. Now, later on in the week, there might be a little disappointment, but the way I read this card for myself when it comes up is those moments where you're forgetting how much you have to be grateful for. I mean, notice in the picture here, she's focused on what's going down the drain, but look at, look what she has over here that is so full and so beautiful, and she has herself. So no matter what we're going through, it's always important to take stock and be grateful for the fact that we can love ourselves through anything and that we have so much around us to be grateful for. I mean, we have the stars in the sky. Even on a cloudy night when we can't see the stars, they're still there. They're still holding space for us. We're still in a web of love. This universe is literally a force field of love. And then, so there may be a little bit of that towards the end of the week, but then with the King of Wands, again, we have this powerful energy of just sitting in who you are and going for what you want. We're sitting in our abundance and our pure emotional, our pure real feelings, our the container, the well of love inside of us, and we have so much happiness in our life that can help us with the disappointing moments, and then we can just sit and be. Or if we want to do something, we can. We have great power within us. This is a really wonderful week, I believe, for manifesting, for being, even if you're not with a lot of people, but being in the light of yourself and being really grateful for all that you have, and then coming through in your own authority, being responsible for what you want to create in your own life, and king energy, because we have it at both ends. Well, here we have 3 kings. There's only 4 in the whole deck. So this week really has to do with taking our authority, our inner authority, being in our own power, and taking responsibility for our lives. But all of the kings definitely relate to organizations and groups. But there's a stable force. When the kings appear, it's a stabilizing type of a force in our lives. And can be a very accomplishing, or a week where you actually have a lot of accomplishment come through. You can pat yourself on the back at the end of the week. Okay, we'll be right back with the last week. All right, this week covers the 26th of April all the way through the beginning of May. I've run it to May 2nd. It's one of those months where we actually have, close to 5 weeks. So the beginning of the week, we have, this is, I call it when pigs fly with this one, but to me it's about honoring the emotional intelligence, the intelligence of a pig. They are one of the most intelligent animals, and their brains work differently than others. So, but the Page of Cups is all about the sensitivity and the imagination. So this doesn't have to be, male or female. It can be of any gender, any way you identify, but it just is that force inside of us that has a great imagination and wants to experience more love. Notice the little heart that's right here in between the hands. And I don't know if you can see it, but it's like a little, well, let's see, maybe I can bring this in. Hold on. Yeah, well, it's just like a little bright, I'm not really sure if it's a crystal if it's a couple of crystals. Um, yeah, I'm not really sure, but it's beautiful. And look how it's whatever it is, it's glowing from without or from within to the outside. And check out all the energy coming out of his heart. And he's thinking. See how he's looking up above, right? He's looking up above, and we have, all the stars coming out of his head. He's like kind of starry-eyed. And it has to do with, going for what you want. You can fly in your dreams, right? Or we can get in a plane and fly. Maybe not a good idea for a little while, though. But with this energy and consciousness of this card, it has to do with, going for what you want on the feeling levels, really putting your feelings into visualizing, and especially with following, moving into the star energy. The star card is knowing that you can create within reason anything that you want on this earth, and that to know that it's when we really want something, it's already there for us in the spirit world, and we just have to bring it down. We just have to kind of tug it down and bring it into our life experience. And sometimes that takes a lot of faith and a lot of visualization, but to never give up on your dreams. Follow your own inner compass. Let the universe guide you. Align your intuition with the forces of love that will guide you in the future. So that's a really, really wonderful. These two cards go together really well for manifesting. And then the King of Swords. Now, of course, he's the theme for the week, and here we have all the kings within the 5 weeks for this month. So there's a lot to do with structure and organizing and creating the reality that we want to live. Now, the King of Swords has to do with sometimes attorneys, law, judges, but for the most part, it's that force within us that can organize. Because we can see the big picture. We can get up above it all and see the big picture. We can trust our wisdom. Right? We've gone through a lot of rebirth here with the bat. The other little creatures, I think that this is a dragonfly, which to me tells me, you can create anything that you focus on. And it does not have to be an illusion just because it hasn't, been in your life before. It can be whatever it is that you want. And with swords, I always look at that elemental, force in the tarot as being the ability to cut through, the limitations in our minds, the attitudes that don't serve us, the false beliefs that have been holding us back for who knows how long. And so with that energy, that can bring us full circle. Now, the World card can be a completion, but of course, we can always, create anew. So I never see anything as completely complete, right? Because you just keep going and going. But there is something that's coming to a completion, or one level, one layer of completion, and it's also the energy of really coming into your own. It has the quality of abundance and moving through all the different spirals that we have to go, the spiraling in processes, going through all the different layers of peeling back what didn't work in the past, and now you're in a whole new place where things can work, and you're curious. Now we move into the Page of Swords, and that's all about studies. See all the light bulbs here where, she's really curious and really having fun learning new things. So this to me is the element of discovery. So I'm wondering, I'm hoping that by the end of the month we may have some type of a vaccine or some type of something more, over this this virus that's going around. and on a global level. It could be that there are the world definitely has to do with the entire world and all the other nations. And the King of Swords, it definitely is the energy and consciousness of science, the scientists. So it could be that there's a discovery from the scientists come full circle with something that can, help those that need it, that, don't have the natural immunity, or, for those who are at risk. So, yeah, so that looks like a really good way to finish off the month, or to moving in. For sure, this is moving into May, so we'll see how that goes for next week, or next month. It'll be the week after this. So that's it. All right, so thank you, and thank you for joining me. And if you like this, I'd love it if you subscribed and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss out for next month. And that's it. Yeah. Okay, thank you. Bye.